Good evening. Welcome to WSBI, your resource for success podcast program, where you get to meet inspiring women-owned businesses from across the country. And now, for your host, Kimberly McElmore.
All right, hello, and welcome to another night of sharing. With us, we have Deborah Beasley, the owner of DeBorahs Interior Design Team. Welcome, Deborah. How are you this evening?
Hello. How are you?
I'm good. I'm excited that we finally are getting this done.
I know, right?
It's like, yay, we're finally on the team. Yeah, it's like the team is finished.
Oh my God.
It's perfectly fine. I mean, we all have all these different journeys and things that we're going through, but I'm just finally excited that you're here. So before we actually dive into the deep part of the interview, I would like for you to tell the listeners just a little bit about yourself.
Well, like she said, I'm the owner of DeBorahs Design Team. I'm currently in school at New York School for Interior Design. So I've just been boosted up to a stager. So that's been exciting. I have my own business now. So I'm out doing a couple decorating jobs. I'm also a cancer survivor of 10 years, cervical and ovarian, stage 4. That was my biggest accomplishment. I feel like my biggest accomplishment was my 2 kids.
Right.
Battling cancer was hard. It was very hard, but I had it in my mind, and I had already had a conversation with God that I was not going to die. So, I had faith, but, I have 2 kids, one in college and one in high school. And they're 4 years apart, but it's like 2 and 2. He's 2 years college. She's 2-year high school. So,
wow.
Yeah. So yeah, when I get him out, then she's left, and then when she leaves, he comes back. So I'm like, hey, can I ever have an empty nest there?
Yeah, like I said, this is not how this is supposed to work, right?
Exactly. I should have had you guys a year apart, okay?
Oh my goodness.
But it's great. Motherhood is great. It's hard, but it's great. But yeah, that's a little bit about me. I'm a Georgia State graduate, 95. I'm a member of Delta Sigma Theta, and I think life is great. I'm a marketing director at my church, so I wear a lot of hats.
You do.
I know. I'm always doing something. Like, I can't turn people down.
Well, I'm sure it's going to get to the point where eventually you will have to say, I can't do that right now, but that's okay. I think that as women in general, we really, want to help as many people as we can. But, in order to grow our businesses and to maintain our families, sometimes we have to learn how to balance that and know how to say no when we need to say no. Because I'm still learning that. It's funny how as we continue to get older, we really start to think a little bit more about our self-identity and what we want to do and how we want to accomplish life, because for years, especially as we have family and children, we pretty much put everybody first, right?
Exactly. You're absolutely right. Speaking of hats, I used to be a talk radio host on WIGO, so I used to have a show called Deb the Diva.
Wait a minute now. What happened to that show? I mean,
they want me to come back, but I'm trying to see how I can fit it in, because oh my God, like I feel like an octopus at times.
Right.
Because, but I love to do everything, but my schedule, our day is only so long. So, but I enjoyed it. Right. I enjoyed it.
But, so we have 24 hours out of a day, but out of the 24 hours, we're probably spending 15 to 16 of it doing everything else but us, right? So it's like,
exactly.
Okay,
exactly.
Yeah. So, definitely, maybe, try to get it all figured out, the year. I can't believe how fast this year has gone. And I sit back and think about what I have accomplished and then how much more I still want to accomplish. And I'm sure you're going through that battle right now because of all the things you're doing with going back to schools, to get the degree in your interior design, even though you have the business going on, still raising your family and, still, I'm sure, going through the challenges of, going through the stage 4, the cervical cancer and ovarian cancer. I'm sure that there are still days that you have those challenges. So I think it's amazing that you're doing what you're doing and still obviously keeping that positive outlook. But tell me more about what inspired you to go this direction. Because I know we talked a little bit earlier that, you did have a previous business and you decided to move on with that. And now you're into this business. What inspires you to do what you're doing?
Well, everywhere. First of all, I love shopping. Second of all, I love furniture and designing and things that are pretty. I'm very girly. So everywhere I live, people always come over and say, "Oh my God, like your house is like a showroom." And I'm like, "Really?" They're like, "I mean, really, it looks like a showroom." And people tell me that so much, so I'm like, And then I go to friends' houses and they would say, "Look, I need you to come over. I need you to decorate my living room. I need you to decorate my bathroom. I need you to, put this together." And I'm like, "Wait a minute." I'm like, "Okay, that's cool, but that's not my job." And they're like, "Well, this should be your job because you're so good at it." I'm like, "Okay, I never thought about that." And then my sister moved and she was like, "Okay, this is what you're going to do. You're going to do my bedroom." I'm like, wait. I'm not an interior designer. And then I started dating someone and he said, "You should give it some thought because you should go back to school because you are good at this because you walked in my house and said, hey, da 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 da." And he said, "What does it take for you to start your own and start doing your own thing?" And I said, I hadn't thought about that. And I signed up for New York School of Interior Design. It's great. I enjoy it. And I was like, wait, maybe I should do this. So far, it has been like just wonderful. Like I really have enjoyed it. I'm learning so much about textures and different things. And it has been really like great. And I do it. Oh my God. It's just like, well, now I get a lot of people saying, let me go back. Now I get a lot of people saying, well, now that you're in school or now that you started your business, now you don't have a reason to say you can't do it. So what's funny, my church is moving and the first lady says, "I need you to come and decorate the church now that we're moving in." I'm like, oh my God. I said, "Okay." You hear me, right? Okay.
Right. Okay.
Can't say no. So that's what I'll be doing. I'll be decorating the church now. And it's just fun. I meet new people and to just see people smile. That means a lot to me because like you said, my previous venture, I was working with kids and it was called the Butterfly Divas. And I was mentoring young girls and teaching them how to be ladies, etiquette, health, hygiene, just different things.
Right.
But you can only get so much support. And sad to say, the parents just didn't support. You would think out of the ladies, the mothers would push that, but they didn't. It was more of the fathers that pushed it than the mothers.
Wow.
So that's crazy.
Sometimes I think for women, we seem to feel like we already have those answers. And even though it's a significant thing, and I'm sure that some of them want to support you, but I think they go through the same process we're going through. I have too many other things to do than to do this, right? So it's one of those situations that maybe you can go back to it later and maybe bring it back into the form of with the interior design, have a different twist to it. And then have it about the fathers and the daughters. You never know what can come back out of that, because when I'm listening to what you're saying here and talking about doing the design, your passion and the joy in your voice and about teaching others and showing others how something so simple as adding a certain texture or a look or a feel, it's something that you definitely should be doing. So, maybe that venture didn't pan out the way you wanted to right away, but maybe the timing wasn't right. So you never know. You never know. And like I said, I'm just really excited because you're so excited. I'm like sitting like, ooh, I'm going to have her get on a plane and come on over here. Check out what I've done.
And I will. I'm going to Tampa to see a good friend of mine soon. So yeah, I would. And my niece go, Auntie, I just bought this house in Douglasville. I need your I said, yes, dear, I will come. Because I promise you, every time someone comes to my house, even people come for services, they, are you in decorating? Are you in interior? I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, well, a little. At the time, I hadn't done anything. So I'm like, a little. You really need to get into that because it looks great. And I'm like, okay, maybe I need to. And that's what made me get so inspired. I was already inspired, but more inspired to do that. And now it's just like, oh, it just comes natural. I mean, I could just see a room and go for it. Like I could just say, okay, give me your colors. And then I take off.
Right.
So
and
I'm really excited.
And that's the thing that doesn't make it seem like a business, is because when you have that much passion and it's something you just love doing, like I say, your thought process is not going to be the same as somebody else's, because we're going to see you as, oh, this is a woman who needs to be in business. And even though it took you a little time to determine, well, this is the direction I need to go, you are truly all into it with all fours. And that's the beauty about it, is that you are not sitting up there saying, well, this is not what I really want to do. I just love having fun when I'm doing it. But if people are willing to pay you for your services, you are absolutely in the right business, right?
Right,
So,
right, exactly.
You don't have to fight for that process, and don't have to hear somebody say, well, that's just too expensive, I'm not going to do that. Sometimes people don't understand that, when they're walking into looking at a home, or if they're looking at an apartment complex or whatever, that's what they do, a lot of staging. Somebody's already designed it so that it can make you have that thrill, right? So that's what you do. You give people that thrill that they need to have when they walk into their home. So,
That's
you definitely need to be patting yourself on the back, because even though you've had many journeys and you've gone through some other things, you are at least living your passion. So as you are going through this process of living this new passion that you already have had, talk a little bit about the challenges, though, that you're facing, because, you're trying to balance so many other things. What have you noticed that's currently, even though it's very new, that has kind of pushed you over the edge, because everybody already knows what you've accomplished, and now you're trying to do all these other things? So talk a little bit about your challenges.
Well, one of my challenges is trying to get the business off the ground. There's so many. Atlanta's like the mini New York. So there's so many companies here, and there's so much competition. So the name says everything. And it's a who type of deal, And I don't know. That's one of my challenges. It's just trying to get my name out there and get the name of the business and let people know that, hey, I haven't been in business long, but I do good work, and I have the experience to back it. But another one of my challenges is my health. I'm healthy, but I have to make sure I continue to be healthy. And with the cancer thing, I've been cancer free for 10 years, and that's a struggle, though, because you're always scared in the back of your mind. You're always hoping that it doesn't come back. Oh, I hope the cancer don't come back. Oh, stay away. I hope. And that's the scary part. You have to have your regular checkups every year. And every year I come back, doctor say, hey, you're still good. You're still looking good. But it's always in the back of your mind, will the cancer come back? But that's one of the challenges. And then I'm still working, because I have two kids, one's in college. I still have to work a regular job. So I work a job, and I have another side job, which is marketing. And then I do my interior design.
Right. So, and you're right. And it's nothing wrong. I think a lot of people don't understand that, as we journey into becoming business people, we still have to look at our responsibilities, right? So, what you're doing is, even though
Right.
you're overwhelmed to some degree, you have to balance all these things out, because you still have responsibilities of taking care of your children. You know, you got one still in college, you have one that's not in college. You know, having a full-time job is not a bad thing, because at the end of the day, like I always tell people, having more than one income streamline is very important. But also, if you didn't have that job, you may not be able to do the things that you're doing currently, right? So it's these things of trying to jump through hoops to make the business work. It's obviously you take baby steps and you do one day at a time, and you build your business. And as you continue to build, especially with you going through school, you know, people can see that you are definitely doing it. You're getting a certification, you're getting that degree, things that you need to have to show that you, even though you have the talent, that is, you know, the proof in the pudding is going to be there with the documentation as well as the work that you do. So going back to, I was listening to how you were talking about being there in Atlanta, and how Atlanta's like the mini New York. You're absolutely right. I've been going there quite a bit. And matter of fact, I'll be back out there in March doing another book signing and some work out there.
Yes,
and
congrats to that.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I was just out there. Gosh, I guess it's been a couple weeks now. I'm starting to lose track of it. I'm starting to lose track of the things that I'm doing myself. So, you know.
And see, you did something that I've always wanted to do, was write a book about everything that has gone on with me in my life. Just never knew how to get started. But congrats to that.
But now you have me. I also am a book coach. So you see how
really?
much oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And matter of fact, when I go back out in March, beyond doing another book signing and a lecture, we're going to be putting together a workshop. So another self-publishing workshop. So I'm be hitting different cities throughout the year of 2019 as well, and doing more of those. So, you know, the key thing is that, you know, the resources are there and the connections are there. It's just getting to those connections and the resources appropriately, and finding the people that you need to talk to. So you never know what a person can, you know, provide to you. And as you continue to grow with your business, you know, lay it out in format, you know, write everything down into all your steps that you're doing. No matter what business you're in, it's really no different than the business you did prior. You took certain steps in order to get there. You're going to have the same steps to take to get this business up off the ground thoroughly. But every time you as a business person continues to go out and do work, you know, actually pictures in your type of business, pictures say 1,000 words, right? You know, it's what people see versus what they hear sometimes. And, you know, the visual is important. The social media aspect of it is important. Being able to do maybe some shows so that you can get your name out, you know, having your branding is extremely important. So tying all those things together, you know, will absolutely have your business where it needs to be. And, you know, in telling your story, you can absolutely tell your story. I tell people every day that you don't have to be a well-known author to become an author. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people that don't realize being an author is really about sharing your expertise, whether it's so sometimes people write to share and talk about their expertise in the field of what they're doing. Other people write to tell their story about their personal experiences and then how they can help others. And then you have those other people who write to just tell those stories, fun stories, whether they're children's stories or whether they're just fun stories whether it's about just wanting to write, you know. So there's all types of different people out here who can write. And what I do is teach people exactly what it takes from the beginning to the middle to the end of what it means to be an author, understanding the industry, knowing how to put those processes together, and then at the end of it, self-publishing your own book so that you can cut out that middleman, so to speak, as we always call them, and then, you know, printing them out, getting out here and doing your speaking engagements, all the things that it takes that you see people do every day. They become authors, you know, and then I give you a lot of other golden nuggets, as we call them, when you're going through the class. So, you know, anybody can be an author. It's just, like you said, when you don't understand the steps, most people won't journey into that, and you can do it just like anybody else can.
Great. I will be at that class.
So, yeah. So, you know,
Yes. I will definitely be at that lecture. Please make sure you let me know.
Absolutely. I will absolutely keep you informed, and, we'll be posting soon. So we're just trying to get, obviously get a few things in order when it comes to doing the classes and so forth, because it takes a little bit longer to get your venue and get all those pieces together. But the lecture and the book signing will be at the same store, at Madu Bookstore, which is the second largest owned Black bookstore in Atlanta. It's located in Greenbrier. So I will be back out there in March. I believe it is March. I want to say the 17th. I have to go back and double check the date again because my mind is not open to that. But enough about me. Let's get back to you. Okay. So
I love hearing about you, though. You have a wonderful story. I love hearing about you.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. So, we've talked a little about what's inspired you. We've talked about your field of business and how you've gotten into that and into the interior design. We've also absolutely talked about the challenges. And the other thing that we've really wrapped ourselves around is talking about some of your great successes. And you have absolutely have had some successes. And I know you had said earlier in our conversation that your kids have been your most wonderful and beautiful success. But if you had to look at business overall, with all the things that you've gone through, you're like, what can you see as of today has been one of your amazing successes that you want to share with the listeners? Hello?
Well, let's see. One of my major successes.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I don't think we lost her, but let's see here. Deborah, are you still there? All right. Well, as Deborah, if we lose Deborah, we'll bring her back on. There she goes. All right. Let me see. I think we'll go ahead and just re-chime her in.
Let's see.
Oh, there we go. We got you back there because we were losing you there for a minute. So, all right, Deborah, are you there?
Sorry. Oh my God. I'm just talking.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
And I was just talking.
Yeah, we did. We heard about 2 seconds of but you were talking about the challenges, but then, well, like I said, you were going to talk about the greatest success, and then we kind of lost you. So tell us again what you think would be a great success that you want to share with the listeners.
I want to say being a mother is my best success.
Mm-hmm.
My kids look up to me. I raised them alone, single mom. I had to raise them alone. And I just want to say that's my best success, being a mother. This is, although I've had business, I've modeled back in the day, in my 20s, I modeled. For companies, and I did well. I modeled for 13 years. I owned a cleaning business that was great. It turned out to be one of the largest cleaning businesses in Georgia. I'm very business minded. I can open a business. People say I should have a consulting firm because I can consult people on anything and help them get businesses started. But my biggest success would be as a mother. I think that's the hardest job because there's no book. No book comes with that.
Right. Well, and even though there are many books out there that try to explain to you what it means or how to raise your kids, those books are always focused on the people who with their experiences. And so when they wrote them, they're talking about their experiences and what they thought worked best for them. So, and like I said, you definitely had mentioned earlier on that, your children have been your greatest success. And I think the beauty about you talking about your children as being your greatest success is the fact that your children are seeing you as not just being a survivor, you are a thriver and an achiever. And I think that's the most important piece that your kids are seeing is that no matter what's been put in front of you, you have been able to overcome all of those challenges and haven't looked at those challenges as a way to defeat you. So you definitely need to pat yourself on the back. And I hope that your kids are going to be listening to this interview because they need to realize what the sacrifices you have made so that you could continue to live your dreams as well as continue to make sure that they're living theirs and make sure their journey is set up appropriately the way it should be?
There's a reason why I did it, because my son, while I had cancer, was the one that would come, because chemo was rough. So I would be on the toilet, like falling asleep on the toilet from being sick all night. He would come in, wash my face, and put me in the bed and say, "Mommy, I'm going to stay here with you," and throw his arms around me. And he was like 10. And say, he was like 8 or 9, and said, "Mom, I'm going to be here with you. I'm not going to let you go." And that's why I made it. That's my kids. My daughter would kiss me on the face and say, "Mommy, you're going to make it." So they're the reason why I say they're my biggest success, my kids. They're my biggest.
Absolutely agree with you. I absolutely agree with you. And that's a beautiful story. So, you talked a little bit about that everybody says that you should be consulting in business. So if there was a woman who walked up to you today, or anyone, and asked, what advice would you give them about starting a business and achieving their goals, what would you say to them?
The first thing I would say is research. Research what you want to do. Study it. Real.
Okay, we're losing you a little bit there. Okay, Deborah, can you repeat that again? I'm losing you just a little bit.
Can you hear me?
Okay, say that again.
Okay. Have a passion for it. You got to have a passion for it. And I would say research. Research what you want to do, because you have to know what you want to do and to know if you would be good at it. So research and have a passion, because you have to enjoy what you do.
Absolutely.
You have to enjoy it.
Absolutely.
And if you don't enjoy it, you will not succeed.
Hello. All right. I think we just lost her again for a couple of seconds. I think she will be able to chime back on in. Oh, okay. So, Deborah, are you there? Okay.
Yes.
So we did hear what you were saying as far as people having to have passion and making sure that they do the research and they have to enjoy what they're doing in order for them to be successful. So that is absolutely some good advice. The other couple of things I want to ask you is that how did the listeners get a hold of you now that you have this new interior design business?
They can reach me several ways. DeBorahs Interior Design Team.com or DeBorahs Interior Design Team.com. That's the way they can reach me. They can go on my website, look around, see what I've designed, see what I've put together, and I have information on how they can reach me, phone number and everything.
All right. Okay. That's awesome. Well, I want to say that, this has been a very awesome interview. It's been interesting. I love the storyline that we were able to talk about, when it comes to the personal side as well as your professional side. And like I said earlier, definitely keep trudging forward with what you're doing. Stay positive. Continue to make everybody happy when they walk into the rooms, because I think that is awesome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So I just want to say again, thank you so much for coming on my show tonight. Hello.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Yes, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. You're welcome. It's my pleasure. And like I said, again, thank you for coming on tonight. For everyone else, you can hear us here at iHeartRadio and on Spotify. And we also, in 2019, the show will be going to live through Be Live Facebook. So you will be able to see us and hear us in 2 different formats. So we welcome everybody who's interested in becoming a guest on the WSBI Your Resource for Success podcast program. You're more than welcome to reach out to me through email at Kimberly at WSBILLC.com and just give me a bio, a cover, a logo, and a picture, and hey, we can get you scheduled on the show. But until next time, we're here, like I said, every Thursday evening at 7 p.m. Till next time, have a good evening, and thank you. Good night.
Thank you.
Good night. You're welcome.
Good night, everyone. We will be back next Thursday evening at 7 p.m. Follow us on Spreaker, www.spreaker.com/user/WSBI. View our new WSBI website anytime at www.wsbillc.com and on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Instagram.